18-year-old phenom, Zion Williamson. And, Rob, as I said at the top of the show, great news. We hear it's just a grade 1 sprain on his right knee. Now, if I'm him, I'm not that the Duke doctors aren't good. I would also get a second opinion. And my feeling, Rob, is that he should not step foot on the court again until he is as close to 100% as possible. Like, until he feels as good as he felt 3 days ago. Like that, I wouldn't step foot on. If the doctors are like, hey, you can play. I mean, it's not, you're not going to be 100% yet. It's going to be some soreness. You have to do some extra icing and treatment afterwards. You know, you won't quite have your explosiveness yet, but it'll come. I'm not stepping on the court under those circumstances. But if he's 100%, he can get out there. But let me say this. If tonight, and I don't expect to hear this, but if tonight he and his family said, look, we've talked about this as a family, and Zion's dream since he was a child has been to play in the NBA. And after what happened last night, we just don't want to risk further injury. And so he is going to sit out and prepare himself for the draft. I would have absolutely no problem with him doing that.
I would if he's healthy. And this is the conversation we're having is based on him being healthy, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, which he's not at the present time.
No, but I'm just saying, we're talking about health.
But this is also a kid that just suffered a scary injury. It turned out not to be serious, but he did suffer an injury. And look, I'm not saying he has to do that. I'm not saying he should necessarily. I know Skip Bayless has said he should do that. I'm just saying if he and his family were to come out and do that, I would not even think about ripping him, and there's no reason to rip him. The dude, if you can't see how competitive he is, then something's wrong with your eyes.
Yeah, but I just have a problem with the 18-year-old kid who doesn't want to play basketball.
It's not that he doesn't want to play.
I'm saying if he's healthy.
He's got how many millions of dollars waiting for him, and he says, look, I'm not risking it for a meaning. Look, it's nice to win an NCAA championship, play in the tournament and all that, but I'm not making money off this. My future is at stake.
So he shouldn't have played at Duke at all then. He shouldn't have played
I'm not. See, that's what I'm not saying that. Don't turn it into that.
Well, but I'm saying you're saying I'm not getting
just experienced an injury.
No, I got it. But all right, but
it's not like R.J. Barrett or Trey Jones or any of these kids who haven't had that injury. He just suffered it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well, all right. Now,
I'm not saying sit down for a year and wait till you go to the NBA. But I'm saying late in the season, he just experienced a scare. I would be fine with it.
This is where I'm at. If it's an NFL player who's playing in a meaningless bowl game, I get that, and I supported it, Chris. You know I have. We've talked about it.
What's a meaningless bowl game?
I'm just talking about some bowl game that doesn't matter. Now, if you're playing in the national championship,
is that like the Rose Bowl? Is that meaningless?
Any game where there's not a championship at stake. That's what I'm talking. That to me, that's meaningless.
So you didn't have a problem with Nick Bosa?
Not at all. Okay. But if you're talking about Nick Bosa was playing for the national championship and didn't want to play, I'd have a problem with that, Chris. I would. And in this case, he's not on some bad college basketball team that's going to the NIT. If that was the case, Chris, I'm with you. He's playing for Duke. He has a chance to win a national championship. That means something. And if he's healthy, you can't be afraid not to play. Now, if he's hurt, Chris, I'm with you. But this rush to, don't play anymore. That's it. Oh, my God, you shouldn't play. That's what you do. You're a player. You're going to have to practice over the next 3 months, 4 months before whatever the draft, you know what I mean? You're going to have to practice. You're going to have some contact and play against somebody as you keep preparing. You're not going to sit on the sidelines for the next 4 months and do nothing. So you are going to get some action, correct?
Well, of course you're going to work out.
That's all I'm saying.
But it's different than playing in a game.
And all I'm saying is, hold on, let me just finish. It's different from football. Every play in football could be your last. Could be a career-ending injury. So I do get that, and that's all I'm saying. If you told me should he play in the NIT against Iona, no, I'm with you. But if you're telling me should he go on a championship run, he's healthy, he's taking time to get it healthy, he feels good, the doctor signed off, the second opinion doctor signs off, and he feels good, there's no reason why an 18-year-old kid shouldn't continue to play.
Well, there's plenty of reason. And the reason is that you got hundreds of millions of dollars waiting for you in the NBA. That's the reason. And so, again, I'm not saying he should. I'm not saying that I'd advise him to sit. I would advise him to sit until he's 100% and feels like he felt 2 or 3 days ago.
What's your gut? Is he going to play again, yes or no? What's your gut?
I think he will, but I don't claim that. My gut is
just your gut.
I don't feel like that's that important in this.
No, but I'm just asking you.
I think he will. I mean,
only because the news wasn't that bad today, and I'm not saying he's 100% or he didn't get injured.
Right now.
No, I'm just meaning that he didn't get injured. He got injured.
The one difference I think, which you mentioned football, is that football is one game, and basketball, it's like when you talk about them winning the national championship. I mean, you got to win 6 games in that tournament, not to mention the ACC tournament. So it's not like the championship is in the one championship game is in 2 weeks, and he's saying, I'm not going to play in that one game. You have a long way to go. It's a long journey to get that national championship. So it's not like just playing one game in football. That's my point.
No, but it's different from the standpoint of when you talk about one game, one play, you can get hurt in football.
That's true
way
in any
more.
Sport, as
no,
we just
but
saw.
Even more in football. You know that.
No, of course it's more, but it can still happen. I mean, look at Derrick Rose.
I get it, but I'm just saying in football, any one play, and you're playing in a meaningless game, I would never tell a player to play in that game, and that's why even coaches have accepted it. They understand it. There is money, and there have been players. What was his name, Rob G, from Michigan who played? Jake Butt? Right? Do you remember?
Yep.
Chris, he played in a meaningless game and got hurt, and it cost him in the draft.
Was it Jalen Smith with the Cowboys?
Yes,
too?
right. So I've seen those situations. But have you ever seen
those are one game.
But have you ever seen a guy in a championship game for Alabama who's going to the league say he's not going to play? I'm asking you. Have you ever seen anybody?
I don't believe I have.
No, because they want to play. That's why they're there.
I'm sure Zion wants to play. And that's the thing. This isn't – I have no question in my mind. He wants to play. The question is it the smart move?
But I'm asking you.
If he gets hurt after the draft in a summer league game or a training camp, guess what? He's still got that money. He's still got that guaranteed
I'm asking
deal.
you,
right now, he's out there. I know he's got insurance, but it's not the same.
Rob G, how many guys from Alabama went in the first round of the NFL draft? Should those guys at Alabama not play in the championship game just for the same?
That's one game, Rob.
No, but I'm asking you, can still get hurt.
But you got to win 6 straight games in college basketball to get that national title. And again, I'm not arguing against him playing. Just so that's clear. What I would argue against is anyone else who ripped him. If he and his family came out and made a business decision, I would be like, come on. This changes generations. This is generational wealth. This guy is a future superstar. Got a Nike deal waiting for him. All of that is at stake.
But he wasn't hurt like that, Chris. You're making it like he was maimed yesterday.
All I'm saying,
that's
the
all.
knee is nothing to play with.
No, but he wasn't maimed. He's day-to-day. He's not even out for 2 weeks. He's not even out day-to-day. They came back with a day-to-day. Not even he's going to be out for 3 weeks or a month.
They let Isaiah Thomas play, too.
No, that was on Isaiah. That was on Isaiah.
What? How's it different?
That was on Isaiah.
Doctors told him he could play.
Isaiah rushed back.
He was more than day-to-day.
He rushed back.
You're good to go.
No, go back and look at that. He rushed back, and I wouldn't have rushed back.
Doctors obviously told him he could play. He got a second opinion,
his injury was day-to-day and with the original injury, Chris? It was not.
Right now.
No, I'm asking you.
At some point, the doctor said you can play.
No, I'm talking about the original injury wasn't day-to-day. It was a more serious. Yes, it was. It was a more serious injury.
It got to a point where they said you're good to go.
I'm disagreeing.
It didn't? So he defied doctor's orders?
I'm talking about the original
At some
diagnosis.
point, original don't matter, and what matters is the diagnosis
All
on that
I'm saying
very day.
is if the
and
kid
his
is healthy,
diagnosis at some point was you can play.
If the kid is healthy and wants to win a
and
national
you know
championship,
he
I have no problem with
He was going to get a $100
it.
million contract, and this year he's playing for $2 million.
It was no guarantee he was getting no $100 million.
He was. He wasn't going to
not.
get a max, but he was going to get 100. That ain't that big in the NBA anymore.